Redditors, what makes no sense? Asking about pay and stuff related when applying or interviewing for a job and how it's looked down on to do that. Like the most fundamental purpose of this job is to be paid money. How some cartoon characters wear a shirt, but no pants. Then their colleagues wear nothing at all. Pick a side. You can break a bone and it will heal on its own, but if you develop a little cavity, you must get it filled. If both Goofy and Pluto are both dogs, how can one talk and the other one can't? How come in all the Christmas movies, the adults don't believe in Santa, yet not only is he an actual entity in the context of the film, but he's the one putting presents under the tree? Like, where do they think the presents come from? They didn't put them there. It's like not believing in the mailman or something, it doesn't make sense. How nobody caught John Wilkes Booth. The dude shoots the President of the United States in a crowded theater, leaps down onto the stage screaming, "Sic semper tyrannis," and breaks his leg upon landing. How did no one in the crowd he broke his leg diving in to stop the dude from limping out of the building? Why are most cartoon sons drawn wearing sunglasses? What exactly are they protecting their eyes from? An 18-year-old American can live by themselves, if they can afford it, go into thousands of dollars worth of debt, join the military, even buy a gun. But it is illegal for them to have a fucking beer. The bathroom stalls in America. They offer zero privacy. If I wanted to be seen by everyone while peeing, I would do so right outside the stall. The saying, "I slept like a baby." So you woke up crying multiple times 'cause you're hungry and shit your pants? Hot dogs come in packs of 8. But hot dog buns are most commonly sold in packs of 6. Paying more than double what a mortgage costs in rent but being told you cannot afford a mortgage. That there are people that truly, genuinely, unquestionably believe the following. The earth is flat. Vaccines cause autism. Literal interpretations of religious texts. Moon landing was faked. Aliens probed their butts. Climate change isn't real. I could go on, but you get the idea. Why didn't Dora the Explorer have subtitles whenever she spoke Spanish? How am I supposed to know what word she's saying if it's not written out? I shouldn't have to learn Spanish phonetically exclusively. How we've been in a pandemic for almost a year and a half and some dipshits still haven't learned how to wear a mask over their nose and mouth properly. We are in the year of 2021 and this country, US, is ruled by people from the Stone Ages. Instagram influencers making more money than a professional that actually does contribute something useful to the world. Cuomo's response to sexual assault investigation saying he had a pattern of assaulting women, by claiming some of the things he does to all women because that's how he acts around people. Like bro, that's the point. The obesity problem in America. Speaking from personal experience, I struggled with being borderline obese during middle school, and I felt terrible. I couldn't stand to look at myself in the mirror most days, and I would cry myself to sleep, because of how I felt, and what people would say to me. How could anyone be okay with being fat? It just is physically and mentally exhausting from what I remember. It also doesn't make sense why America has so many other things they prioritize rather than their citizens' overall health. But hey, I guess it's just the votes that count, right? How vampires hate sunlight but are perfectly chill in moonlight, like isn't moonlight just reflected sunlight? Astronomical art prices. I know people say it's money laundering, but I can't help but wonder if there's more to that. Life in the third world here, you bust your ass of studying for 25 years, then you graduate to earn $200 or $300 per month, get a boring marriage and work your ass till you are 65 to submit your kids to the same cycle you literally live and die without knowing what life is like or what it means to feel financially secure or not worrying about how will you eat if you get sick. When people go for a hike with their dog and leave the plastic bag of dog poop neatly tied up on the trail. I see this constantly. Vaccine deniers. Had a girl laugh at vaccines saving lives on my Tinder profile. Too bad they don't care about smallpox, polio, whooping cough, and terrible illnesses that have been nearly wiped out because of vaccines. Share prices. I can't get my head around how it goes up and down. When people are buying it goes up, when people are selling it goes down. But what I don't get is when you're buying, there is a seller to match your order. So how on earth is it moving at all? Why do we keep making bathtubs so small? Everyone agrees that bathtubs are too small to be comfortable, and yet we still make them that way. Just stop. Make bigger tubs. There isn't some cosmic rule that they need to be uncomfortably short. If everyone just agreed right now to make bigger tubs, it would be over. It just makes no sense that we don't. Stop it. Gender. Like, who decided what is feminine and what is masculine? If they decided otherwise back then, the world would look different. Why the IRS doesn't just send me a bill for my taxes instead of having me fill out a bunch of forms? They already know what I owe or don't owe them, because if I get it wrong they sure as hell let me know, so why not just send me their information and skip all the bullshit? My best friend tells me that masks don't work. She didn't want the vaccine but her husband pressured her to get it, and that Biden eats babies. Abusing your employees. Underpaying them, harassing them, undermining them, and not developing their talents only hurts you in the long run. Building a company with a strong foundation of genuine human connection will foster unbelievably potent loyalty that you won't need to scream in people's faces that they aren't hitting their targets. How something can start from nothing. Why are we here? If you believe in God, why is there a God? Where did God come from? Why did the Big Bang happen? What was before it? Does time even exist, or is it just part of human perception? It makes no sense, none of it. Poverty. If there's so much money to go around, why can't billionaires adopt small villages/towns and help build resources that can get the people employed? How humans can be completely immune to facts. How as a species we'd value our ego and pride over not just the case of another but even care of your own self. To the point where we'd even go out of our way to harm ourselves and others for no tangible gain. Construction on interstates/overpasses takes 10+ years, but they can erect a glass skyscraper that can withstand earthquakes, hurricanes, lightning storms, etc. in like 9 months. A high-quality poop can honestly be a highlight of a day, but I guess we're just too afraid to acknowledge it. Why is this taboo? A good poop is a good poop. You shouldn't feed Gizmo after midnight. Surely every second of every day is after midnight? Uploading my resume to a company's site only to have to fill out the same information all over again on the next page. Why? Is it just another arbitrary hoop to jump through? It makes no sense and it's a huge waste of time. Right side up. Upside down making sense, then it should be upside down. If you like right side up, then the opposite should be wrong side up. My child would say upside up and I'd paused to correct them but then decided that was accurate. The fact that my full-time job requires a college degree to do it, and yet by its income, plus a second gig, I can only afford to rent low-income housing in my state. And that my low-income rent has increased from $820 to $950 a month over the course of 3 years, which is easily taking half of my monthly income. That I am being phased out of living in low-income housing for it not being affordable. The fact that places that are not low-income won't even let me apply to live in them, as they don't see how I could afford to live with just 30% taken for rent each month. The fact that the town and state legislators I've expressed this concern to merely responded with form letters stating, "Housing is bad everywhere," and offered no insight on what is being done about it. Multi-level frustration, really. People who let anger rule their lives. I still remember all the Twitter hate towards Nintendo for announcing Splatoon 3, a game many are looking forward to, just because it wasn't what they wanted. Needing past jobs to qualify for an entry-level job, like that's not what that means. Oh, and the idea that people don't reuse their towels, makes no sense to me. That you use it once and it's still clean but goes in the hamper or wash. Use it at least twice. I recently moved and had to set up new internet services. I decided to save $60 and have the modem and router mailed to me. Self-setup was advertised, but they left out the part where you have to download an app to set it up. You actually had to have an internet connection to set up your internet. In America, 18-year-olds can go into active war but cannot purchase alcohol. People's obsession with brand names. I always see people buy ridiculously expensive things just because of the brand name, and I've never understood it. The only real benefit I can think of is that usually you're guaranteed a pretty high quality product. But all it takes is a few minutes to look up reviews of some lower price products instead. And I know, the logic behind it that people usually deny is that they just want to show people around them that they are able to waste money on this kind of crap. But so often it's people who can barely afford rent who try the hardest to look rich, when if they didn't buy brand name crap, they might actually live a lifestyle closer to what they are trying to portray. I still remember the day my roommate bought a stupidly expensive shirt to wear on a date that night so he could impress the girl, ended up running out of money halfway through the date, and never heard from her again. Americans saying, "I could care less." The phrase is, "I couldn't care less." If you could care less, then it means that you're caring a certain amount, when you're trying to not care at all, have no more care to give. The debate about why women should shave. They come back with the argument, it's not natural. What do they think we do? Put hair or something there. It's something that shouldn't really bother other people. It's the woman's body, not yours. Computer jobs that employers require me to do in their office when my PC and internet at home are faster and more powerful. Let me work from home, there's no reason for me to waste gas driving to an office. The world economy and work culture. I get that's the reality, but it's fucking weird. We could just, kind of not and still survive just the same. Americans celebrating their 18-year-olds want to go to a war zone, reminds me of the village in Midsummer that rejoices over the suicide of their elders. Open carrying a firearm. You're in Walmart shopping for a new clothes basket, Bill. You're safe. Even if you're in a dangerous area or whatnot. Why in the ever-living fuck would you advertise that you have a gun? I'm a bad guy on my way to do crime. Oh look, that guy has a gun. I don't see anybody else with one. He's going down first because he's busy sniffing different candle scents and I know that's one less guy with a gun. Healthcare in the United States is a fucking nonsensical nightmare. Americans are so fucking stupid for allowing for-profit healthcare to continue. When people say I mean normally at the start of sentences. If they just say what they are going to say then we will know that's what you mean without having to preface it with I mean. It's irritating and makes zero sense why people have started doing it. Use by dates on salt. How come the salts are okay for 3 million years? Then I buy it and have to throw it away after 2 years.